A golden beam of the sun pierced the rolling sands of Egypt, illuminating the vast expanse of desert as Dr. Elina Sayid stood atop a newly discovered archaeological site. The brilliant archaeologist, known for her unorthodox theories about ancient civilizations, gazed down at the partially excavated pyramid. Unlike the others that dotted the Giza Plateau, this pyramid was smaller and buried under layers of centuries-old sand, as though the desert had attempted to hide its secrets. Elina's team of international researchers and local workers buzzed around her, chattering about the pyramid's peculiar structure. The blocks were darker than traditional limestone, almost metallic, and the inscriptions bore strange hieroglyphs that didn't match the Egyptian canon. "This isn't just a tomb," Elina murmured to her assistant, Amir. "This is something else entirely." Amir squinted at the carvings. "These symbols are unlike anything I've seen, Dr. Sayid. They almost look like stars," Elina finished, her voice tinged with excitement and unease. Days turned into weeks as the team worked tirelessly, eventually uncovering a sealed stone door etched with an intricate design, a blend of hieroglyphs and what looked like alien script. The carvings depicted humanoid figures surrounded by celestial objects, seemingly granting knowledge to ancient Egyptians. "This is beyond groundbreaking," Elina whispered during a team meeting. "If these carvings are accurate, we're looking at evidence of an extraterrestrial influence on early human civilizations." The room erupted in murmurs. While Elina's theories had always hinted at such ideas, finding tangible evidence was unprecedented. Their curiosity reached fever pitch when ground-penetrating radar revealed an enormous chamber beneath the pyramid. With bated breath, the team cracked the seal on the ancient door, its metallic surface shimmering unnaturally in the dim light of their torches. As the door groaned open, a cold gust of air rushed out, carrying with it the faint hum of something ancient and alive. Inside, the team found a vast subterranean chamber. The walls shimmered with a silvery substance that reflected their torchlight. At the center of the chamber lay a sarcophagus unlike any they had ever seen. It was made of a translucent crystal that pulsed faintly with an inner light. Hieroglyphs surrounded the sarcophagus, detailing the life of a being named Ankh-Kaa. The inscriptions referred to him not as a pharaoh but as a harbinger of the sky gods. Elina traced her fingers over the hieroglyphs. "It says he was born of a union between the gods and humans, chosen to rule and prepare Earth for their return." Amir frowned. "Prepare Earth? For what?" Before Elina could respond, the team's tech specialist, Sophia, gasped. "Dr. Sayid, you might want to see this." Sophia's drone, scanning the chamber, had picked up an energy signature emanating from the sarcophagus. It was faint but consistent. "This thing, it's alive," Sophia whispered. Against her better judgment, Elina ordered the team to open the sarcophagus. They worked carefully, using advanced tools to break the seals without damaging the ancient artifact. As the lid slid open, a blinding light engulfed the room. The team shielded their eyes as a humanoid figure emerged, floating above the sarcophagus. Its skin was an iridescent silver, and its eyes glowed with an otherworldly blue light. The being spoke in a language that resonated in their minds rather than their ears. "Who dares awaken Ankh-Kaa?" The team froze, unsure of how to respond. Elina stepped forward, her heart pounding. "We are archaeologists, seekers of knowledge. We mean no harm." Ankh-Kaa studied her, his glowing eyes narrowing. "The curse was set to protect this world from your kind's arrogance. Yet here you stand, meddling with forces beyond your comprehension." The chamber trembled as the being's energy grew volatile. Sand and debris rained down from the ceiling and the air crackled with electricity. "What curse?" Amir shouted over the chaos. Ankh-Kaa's voice echoed like thunder. "The curse to safeguard Earth from the return of the Sky Lords. Your awakening of me heralds their coming. Prepare yourselves, for your world is now at the brink." Ankh-Kaa disappeared in a burst of light, leaving the team in stunned silence. The tremors subsided, but the damage was done. The chamber's energy destabilized, forcing the team to evacuate. Back at their base camp, Elina gathered her team. "We need to decode the inscriptions we recorded. If Ankh-Kaa spoke the truth, we've just triggered something catastrophic." As they worked, the team discovered a chilling prophecy etched into the walls of the chamber. "When the Harbinger awakens, the Sky Lords shall return. Only the keeper of the Codex may hold the key to humanity's survival." "What's the Codex?" Sophia asked. Amir pulled up a photograph of a relic they had unearthed earlier, a small metallic tablet with alien inscriptions. We thought it was just an artifact, but it might be the key to stopping whatever's coming. News of the team's discovery spread quickly, drawing the attention of governments and private organizations. Soon, strange phenomena began occurring worldwide: unexplainable power outages, auroras in places that had never seen them, and sightings of unidentified flying objects. Elina and her team were whisked away to a secret facility by a shadowy organization called the Global Anomaly Task Force (JT). There they were introduced to Director Marcus Kane, a grizzled veteran who had spent decades studying alien activity. "We've been monitoring this for years," Kane said, gesturing to a wall of screens showing live feeds of the anomalies. "Your discovery just accelerated the timeline. We need your help to decipher the Codex and figure out how to stop the Sky Lords." As Elina's team worked with JT's resources, they unraveled the Codex's secrets. It detailed a history of the Sky Lords, an ancient alien civilization that had visited Earth thousands of years ago. They had manipulated humanity's development, creating hybrid beings like Ankh-Kaa to act as intermediaries. The Codex also revealed that the Sky Lords were not benevolent. They saw Earth as a resource-rich planet and humanity as expendable. Ankh-Kaa's role had been to prepare Earth for their eventual return, but he had betrayed them, sealing himself in the pyramid to protect humanity. This isn't just history, Elina realized. It's a warning. As the team raced to decode the Codex's final message, the anomalies grew more severe. Massive structures began materializing in the skies, floating monoliths that emitted pulses of energy, disrupting communications and power grids. Ankh-Kaa reappeared, this time at the GAT facility. He was weakened, his once brilliant glow dimmed. "You meddle with forces you cannot control," he warned. "The Sky Lords are nearly here. The Codex holds the means to fight them, but its power comes at a cost." "What cost?" Elina demanded. Ankh-Kaa's gaze was solemn. "The sacrifice of one who bears the blood of the Harbinger." The team uncovered the Codex's final instructions. Activating its power required a hybrid like Ankh-Kaa to channel its energy, a process that would destroy him. Ankh-Kaa accepted his fate. "I was created to serve humanity and I will fulfill that purpose." With his guidance, the team activated the Codex. A massive burst of energy erupted from the device, forming a shield around Earth that repelled the Sky Lord's monoliths. But the victory was bittersweet. Ankh-Kaa's form dissolved into light, his final words echoing in their minds. "This is not the end. They will return. You must be ready." As the world recovered from the Sky Lord's near invasion, Elina and her team became reluctant heroes. The Codex was secured in a GAT facility, and efforts began to decipher its remaining secrets. Elina stared out at the desert, her mind racing with questions. Who were the Sky Lords? What other secrets lay buried beneath the sands of Earth? And most importantly, how could humanity prepare for their inevitable return? The answers she knew would shape the future of the human race. The scorching sun bore down on the Egyptian sands as Dr. Elina Sayid stood once again in the shadow of Ankh-Kaa's pyramid. Months had passed since the Sky Lord's attempted invasion, yet the echoes of that day lingered in her mind. The Codex was secure in the hands of the Global Anomaly Task Force (JT), but its secrets remained largely uncharted. Ankh-Kaa's sacrifice had bought humanity time, but how much was uncertain. Elina's satellite phone buzzed, jarring her from her thoughts. On the other end was Director Marcus Kane. "Dr. Sayid, we've got a situation. The Codex is reacting to something." Within hours, Elina found herself at JT's top-secret facility deep beneath the Nevada desert. The Codex, once inert, now pulsed with a rhythmic light, projecting a three-dimensional map of Earth interlaced with glowing lines. Sophia, the team's tech specialist, pointed to the projection. "These ley lines, are ancient energy conduits. The Codex is showing us locations connected to the Sky Lords." Amir leaned closer. "It's triangulating something. See how the lines converge here, here, and here?" Elina nodded. "3 sites. But what are we looking for?" Kane's gruff voice interrupted. "That's your job, Doctor. GT will provide the resources, but we need answers fast. The Codex might be warning us, or it might be guiding us to something that could help." Elina and her team were divided into 3 groups, each tasked with exploring one of the triangulated locations. Elina led the expedition to the first site, a dense jungle in the Amazon rainforest. The journey was grueling, with the team battling treacherous terrain and relentless wildlife. Guided by the Codex's map, they eventually stumbled upon a hidden structure buried beneath layers of vegetation. The architecture was eerily similar to Ankh-Kaa's pyramid but adapted to its jungle surroundings. Inside, they discovered a chamber containing a pedestal. Resting on it was a crystalline orb glowing faintly. The walls were adorned with carvings depicting beings descending from the skies, much like those in Ankh-Kaa's tomb. Sophia scanned the orb. It's emitting low-level energy and some kind of signal. Elina's breath caught. Signal? To where? Meanwhile, Amir's team explored the second site, a frozen cavern in Antarctica. Beneath layers of ice, they uncovered a similar structure, though the orb inside was shattered. The carvings there depicted chaos, giant celestial objects raining destruction on Earth, with humanoid figures fleeing into the skies. The Sky Lords weren't just visitors, Amir reported via satellite link. They were conquerors, and this site suggests Earth was their battlefield. The third team, exploring the ruins of a submerged temple off the coast of India, found something even more unsettling. Their orb emitted a signal identical to the one in the Amazon. They're connected, Elina realized during a briefing. The orbs are part of a global network, possibly Skylord technology. But what's their purpose? As the teams shared their findings, the Codex began to pulse more intensely, its map expanding to reveal additional sites across the globe. But something was wrong. The Codex's energy destabilized, and strange symbols began to appear on its surface. Symbols Ankh-Kaa had once called warnings. Kane frowned. This is another Skylord invasion. No, Elina interrupted. This isn't an invasion. It's a summoning. Sophia's face paled. You mean the orbs are signaling the Skylords? Elina nodded grimly. Or something worse. Before they could act, reports flooded in of mysterious objects appearing in the skies above the triangulated sites. Massive, metallic constructs resembling the monoliths from the first invasion hovered menacingly, sending waves of panic through the global population. The Amazon site was the first to experience direct contact. Elina's team watched in horror as one of the constructs descended, emitting a beam of light that began scanning the jungle. Within minutes, the vegetation withered, reduced to ash. Sophia scrambled to analyze the beam's data. It's not just scanning, it's extracting resources. They're draining the planet. The Antarctic and underwater sites reported similar events, with the constructs emitting beams that destabilize their environments. Back at JT, Elina proposed a bold strategy. The Codex shows us the locations for a reason. If we can synchronize the orb's energy, we might be able to disrupt the constructs. Kane folded his arms. That's a big if, Doctor. And how do you plan to synchronize them when one orb is broken? We improvise, Elina replied. We use the Codex to mimic the broken orb's signal. But we'll need to be at all three sites to execute this simultaneously. Elina, Amir, and the third team returned to their respective sites, armed with portable Codex interfaces designed to amplify and synchronize the orb's signals. The constructs reacted immediately as the synchronization process began. Beams of light intensified, targeting the teams. The Amazon site was engulfed in chaos as the jungle burned, and Elina's team fought to keep the interface operational. At the Antarctic site, Amir faced freezing winds and collapsing ice. The underwater team battled rising water levels and failing equipment. Despite the odds, the synchronization succeeded. The orbs emitted a unified burst of energy that engulfed the constructs. For a moment, silence fell. Then the constructs began to disintegrate, their metallic forms dissolving into the air. As the last construct vanished, the Codex pulsed one final time, projecting a message in both hieroglyphs and alien script. The Sky Lords slumber no more. The Keeper must awaken the final seal. Elina stared at the projection, her heart sinking. The final seal, what does it mean? Sophia looked at her, fear in her eyes. If the Sky Lords are slumbering, this might just be the beginning. The world celebrated the construct's defeat, but Elina and her team knew better. The Codex's warning loomed over them, its meaning unclear but ominous. As Elina gazed at the stars that night, she made a vow. We stopped them once, but we need to be ready for what's coming next. We'll find the final seal, whatever it takes. And so, the team's journey continued, the Codex their guide and humanity's hope. The world had changed since the Sky Lord's constructs were vanquished. Nations united by shared peril, now collaborated like never before, pooling resources into a global initiative called Project Sentinel. At its helm was Dr. Elina Sayid, who had become a reluctant leader in humanity's fight against an ancient cosmic threat. But the victory was fleeting. The Codex's dire warning about the final seal loomed like a dark cloud. Across the globe, strange phenomena grew more frequent: massive electromagnetic disruptions, unexplained disappearances, and the sudden appearance of monolithic structures resembling ancient temples. Elina stood in the central command room of Sentinel Base, surrounded by holographic projections of Earth. Director Marcus Kane's voice broke her focus. "Doctor, we've detected another site," he said, gesturing to a glowing marker over the Sahara Desert. "This could be it, the final seal." Elina's heart sank. If the Codex's prophecy was correct, the seal was not just a defense mechanism. It was the trigger for a confrontation that could decide the fate of humanity. The Sahara site was unlike anything they had encountered before. Buried beneath the dunes was a sprawling city made entirely of a shimmering alien metal. The architecture was otherworldly, with spires that seemed to hum faintly in the desert heat. At the city's center was a colossal obelisk, its surface etched with the same hybrid hieroglyphs and alien script found in Ankh-Kaa's tomb. The obelisk pulsed with energy, sending rhythmic vibrations through the ground. Sophia, analyzing the readings, looked grim. "The obelisk is transmitting a signal into deep space. It's calling them." Amir, standing nearby, clenched his fists. "Then we shut it down. We've done it before." Elina shook her head. "This isn't like the orbs. The obelisk is the seal, and disabling it could have catastrophic consequences. We need to understand it first." As the team explored the city, they discovered an underground chamber beneath the obelisk. The walls were lined with crystalline panels that illuminated as they approached, displaying holographic images of Earth's history intertwined with alien interventions. At the chamber's center was another sarcophagus, similar to Ankh-Kaa's but larger and more ornate. A holographic figure appeared, a projection of Ankh-Kaa himself. "Few are here," the projection began, "then the final seal has been activated. The Sky Lords will return in force and their wrath will be absolute. But there is still hope." The hologram detailed the seal's true purpose. It was a weapon designed by Ankh-Kaa and his rebel faction to channel the Earth's energy and unleash a catastrophic wave capable of destroying the Sky Lords. But to activate the seal, the projection warned, "One of my blood must take my place within the sarcophagus. Only then will the weapon fire." Amir turned to Elina, his voice trembling. "He's asking for another sacrifice." As the team debated their next steps, Sentinel Base reported that massive ships had appeared at the edges of the solar system. Unlike the constructs, these vessels dwarfed Earth's largest cities, their silhouettes ominous against the backdrop of stars. Kane's voice crackled over the comms. "Doctor, we don't have time to deliberate. Those ships will reach Earth within 72 hours. If this seal is our only chance, we need to act now." Elina's team worked around the clock, deciphering the chamber's controls and preparing the seal for activation. But a critical problem arose. The sarcophagus required not just a hybrid's presence but their conscious will to guide the weapon's energy. Without that, the weapon would misfire, likely destroying Earth in the process. "We don't have any hybrids left," Amir said, frustration clear in his voice. Elina glanced at the Codex, now glowing faintly in her hands. "Maybe we do." As the Sky Lord's ships neared, Elina made a decision that shocked her team. "The Codex called me the Keeper for a reason. If Ankh-Kaa's bloodline is what's needed, then perhaps his essence lives on in the Codex." Sophia's eyes widened. "You think you can interface with it?" "I don't know," Elina admitted. "But if this is the only way to save humanity, I have to try." With the team's reluctant agreement, Elina entered the sarcophagus, clutching the Codex. As the lid closed, the chamber filled with a brilliant light, and her consciousness was flooded with images, memories of Ankh-Kaa, the Sky Lords, and the rebellion that had sealed them away. A voice echoed in her mind. "You carry my burden now. Guide the seal or all will be lost." The obelisk roared to life, its energy spiraling into the atmosphere. The Sky Lord's ships arrived, their massive forms descending upon Earth, but the seal's activation caught them off guard. A beam of pure energy shot into the heavens, striking the lead vessel and causing it to implode. The other ships retaliated, bombarding the city with devastating energy blasts. But the seal's weapon continued to fire, destroying ship after ship. Inside the sarcophagus, Elina felt her body weakening as the Codex channeled the energy through her. She guided the weapon with precision, using Ankh-Kaa's knowledge to target the Sky Lord's most vulnerable points. When the last ship fell, the weapon's energy subsided. The city trembled as the obelisk's power waned, and the sarcophagus opened. Amir and Sophia rushed to Elina's side. She was alive but barely, her body frail from the strain. "The seal worked," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "But this isn't over. The Codex, it showed me there are more." Kane's voice came through their comms. "Doctor, you've saved us, but what did you mean by more?" Elina looked at the Codex, now dim but still intact. "The Sky Lords weren't alone. There are others. And they know we're here." As the team evacuated the city, the obelisk collapsed, burying the final seal beneath the sands once more. The Codex, now a symbol of hope and dread, was returned to Sentinel Base for further study. Elina, recovering in a hospital bed, stared out at the stars. She had saved humanity, but the cost was unimaginable. The Codex's final visions haunted her, a universe teeming with ancient, powerful civilizations, many of them far more dangerous than the Sky Lords. "We've bought time," she said softly to Amir, who sat by her side. "But the real war is just beginning." And so, humanity stood at the edge of a new era, one where survival meant unlocking the Codex's remaining secrets and preparing for the trials yet to come.